Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome back. Not Wednesday Night Live anymore. We fucked that off. Welcome back to Question Time Live, continuation, picking up where we left off. Episode number, this makes it 116, although you could say technically this little break for these Wednesday Night Live things was mainly all Question Time episodes, but there we go. Anyway, it was worth a try changing it up, but didn't quite happen. This is what it is. I've got a nice new thumbnail done. You might have noticed it already. I just need a what's the word? Titles. That's it. Bit of an intro, and we'll get some fancy bits of shit done on all this at some point. Anyway, but the most important part is that you're all here, and we get to have an hour just blitzing through some questions and having a dive into as many topics as possible, which I'm super game for. At the farm again today, and wow, I am so relieved to see this drop off in temperatures. I'm sure a lot of people are relieved to see some rain, but the drop off in temperatures, I am big time. I've actually managed to get the yes, Joe, the certificates are behind me. Not them ones, pal. The ones I need to find yours are in that box down there somewhere. It's the box of doom, that is, let me tell you. Yeah, sorry, as I was saying, so the my God, the temperatures got mental last week. We peaked at 32 degrees in one of the greenhouses. Too much. It was at that point, feeders were going off. It was getting tricky to manage. Not pleasant whatsoever. So I'm glad to see it. Today, I think this morning when I got in, we were hitting 25 and 26s. It's climbed to 27 today. I can manage it around that. I really can. But that where it got was absolute madness. So yes. And I'm also streaming this, hopefully streaming this out. It tells me I am over Facebook again, because there's no kind of sales or anything to it. It doesn't have any impact over there on the Facebook page, because I don't want to be getting told off. So it is over there if it's more convenient for anybody. There's no issues with any lag because it's not running an auction or anything. So there we go. First bit, as ever, I know everybody's just starting to drop in, but guys, start loading me up with some questions to fire through. So I've got a few little bits to run through, as always. It's just come up over in the Telegram group, actually. So my little PP video I've been working on, so I've got to get it right. Won't be too much longer before I drop that. I really have dived into this one. So, yeah, I'm just kind of think, fuck it. If it helps you guys, I'm just making sure it's in a way that that it actually sinks in properly. Really am. And I've got a question for you a lot as well, because you may have followed already. A lot of the content from my trip has been posted out over social media over the past couple of weeks from the last trip, and naming the parent fish. So I did decide on Miss Toyota in the end, not to give it away for those who haven't seen the YouTube videos, and it's just kind of rolling out over the other social channels. But it's coming back. I'm swinging a little bit towards Sideshow now. Here's my question: when is it too late to change the name on a fish, or is he done now? Have I got to stick with it? It's the first time I've named a fish since my very first fish back in my dad's pond back in the day, and I don't know where the ground stands on this. So help me out. Is it too late to go back? I'm on the fence. I actually like both, but there's only really that first opportunity to call this one the first. I'm all over. I'm lost. So yeah. Anyway, good news is for me anyway. I'm flying out on Saturday. It's going to be a quick trip. I'll be flying back Friday, and Can't wait. I cannot wait to actually. I'm going to walk up to that pond on Sunday, hopefully around mid-afternoon when I get there. In fact, you know what? I'm not even. By the time I picked the car up and drove to the house, I actually pass by the road going to the mud pond. So it's the very first place I'm going, other than the car rental shop. And I just can't. I can't begin to imagine what it's going to be like. You look there, and I can actually, hopefully, I probably might not see anything but see koi, but then never mind the minute. It's literally going to be the next day. So Sunday, I'll get there. And then on Monday, we're actually netting it and I'm doing the selection. I mean, fucking hell. It's just mental. So let's wait and see. But this is going to give me a great idea. Fish should hopefully be around 2 to 4 centimeters. So I just can't wait. And it's going to be the first. I'll have a real idea after this of exactly where we're at, where we're heading. I've already decided I'm not going to be super strict. I won't be as strict as Fujo was with the selection because it's really important for me. I want to be able to have more fish to enable me to get a better understanding of the development and bits and bobs and get my eye in with it even more. So I don't know if that will change come the next selection when everything's obviously making a lot more sense. But at this one, I'm not going to be too brutal. The compromise on it will be the end size, but it's the first year. I want to get to know if there's any Hyotsori. I love Hyotsori, so I'm going to be game for keeping them. Loads and loads of it. So can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. It's going to be a flight. It's going to drag a little bit, I think. Stressed me out. I know I ain't got my usual seat. I am that person. I like to book the same little area row every time, and bastards have booked it up. So anyway, first world problems and ones. Other than that, I few little bits to run up. So oh shit, yes, Andy, there we go. So you've got, and the problem is I don't think the link's in this bit. I'm gonna have to share it to somebody else. So I think Andy's just said we've hit the 10k mark. Do I believe him? Fucking hell, we have live as well. Look at that. 10,000 subscribers. I tell you what, that is just unbelievable, guys. And honestly, cannot thank everybody enough who's come along on all this journey back to the channel. I'm getting a bit emotional now. Back to the whole thing. It's remarkable. I get so much joy from all this interaction. Just the love and kind of feeling the passion and everybody in it together, the community. It is honestly buzzing. It gives me so much energy. I generally don't need it anyway, just the love for what I do with it. But the additional energy it gives you to want to get better fish, do things more interesting, keep pushing it, all the rest of it. It's a lot of extra fuel. So thank you. And obviously now we're at the point where it's my turn to give back a little bit. So the mega prize draw, I'm not going to squeeze it in before Japan, and I don't want to commit to it in Japan because that shit, when I'm doing them early mornings, I'm not a fan of it. I look like I'm on something when I come on. So what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to integrate that into the show on the first Wednesday when I'm back. But to be in it, if you're not already, you need to be subscribed to our mailing list, and you get an extra entry for being in the text message marketing list. Questions, guys, as well. Questions. I can see the chat going mad, but I can't see loads of questions. Yeah, it's you've got to be in there because that's where we're going to pull that list out, and that's going to be it. And then what we'll do is I'll pull a prize up, we'll spin the wheel, and that's how that'll work. And I'm going to have a shed load of stuff. I'm going to try and pick a few more bits up while I'm in Japan as well. So be absolutely well worth it. And yeah, genuinely, it will be absolute pleasure to be able to give something back to a few of you. I think there's far too many for everybody to get something, but honestly, thank you, and long may it all continue, especially this next part. I really can't wait to bring you all along on, honestly, this next part as we have been doing, because it's going to be a hell of a journey, that one. Things behind the scenes, I've got quite a bit progressing at pace, and typical me, trying to go in all directions at once. But it's good. It looks like we're coming off with a few recruits. We've been getting a bit of helping from the community as well. It's all been amazing. So what I'm going to do, I do know the links to the Koi Online WhatsApp group should be in the description below on this one. So if you get into the group afterwards, I will share another link to sign up to the mailing list and text message marketing list. I'm not going to close that off now until before the live. So we'll pull that off like a day or two before. So you've got a great chance to get in. Like I say, you'll get one entry for being on the email list. You'll get an additional entry if you decide to hear from me on the text messaging marketing list. And we don't go mad with it either, especially not the text one. But it's all there, and it's nice kind of priority stuff on new releases as well. So yes, there we go. Big stuff. Can't believe we've got there. That's nuts. So let's see where that one carries on in future. What else have we got? I've got a couple of raffle prize draws coming up this week. Yes, we're going to get it done this week. A 73 centimeter Taniguchi Kohaku and a Dainichi Toyota Tosai Showa, including growing. Does it get more mental? So they're going to be coming. You want to be in that WhatsApp group if you want to get a chance at those as well. And then if you didn't see the video on the last live, there's two videos dropping tomorrow, which are quite cool. One is showing, looking at a batch Deutschgen Rinkum Onryus that are being released. They're epic. And secondly, I should be on the live tomorrow again for the new Koi Online stream I've been doing, which is running through all of the releases coming up this weekend, because this weekend on the website, Koi Online website, we are hosting a weird and wonderful weekend where we've got all kinds of weird and wonderful koi, all Tosai, all affordable, being released. So yeah, got that coming. But a save the date in last week's episode, you can find it on the channel. I did a save the date for August 2nd, because likely when I'm in Japan, we're going to be dropping the tickets for this. We are doing our own grow and show where you guys take the fish away and work your magic, and I just sit back and then do the judging, host the event and make it all nice. But we're making it a physical event, so it's going to be heavily community based, getting all you guys together as much as possible. You still can participate online. We can do shit by proxy. That's fine. But the main aim is to bring everyone together. 2 parts as well, picking your fish and taking it away, and then coming back, not with the fish, with the pictures for the judging and yeah, information, talks, you name it. Best bit is, so that's going to be on August 2nd for the selection, £95 a go. And for that, you get a stunning Coda Tosai. There's a big batch of them, loads of variety in there as well to really appease everyone. And I've gone with that because there's a little bit more of a challenge and skill to raising a lot of these non-Go Sankey varieties. So I thought that'd be a really nice shout on that one as well. And look out for both videos tomorrow. If you can get in on the live stream, that will be amazing. Andy asking me, can anyone come if not buying? Absolutely not, Andy. Can you imagine? It'd be carnage. Units not big enough, buddy. But yes, there we go with that one. And last one before we do get kicking on with some questions. Get them in there, guys. I don't think I can see enough. Website, there is still a few bits on there from last weekend's release. I think we've got 8 lovely Shinoda Heeled Sauries left and 3 of the new type, kind of Mitsuba style golden corns. So if any of those are of interest, feel free to have a look. Other than that, I think it's time to get stuck into some. Did I mention it at the beginning about the PP? I think I did. That's obviously, it's becoming a bit of a big topic. I agree with what someone said actually in the group, that it is it's frustrating watching people saying they've used this dose of PP and it's from his dealer and he can't really share it, all that. 100%, right? I kind of agree with both sides of it. Pretty much confident the dosage levels I'm talking about getting to, not a lot of people have been using, but I really have to stress enough, you know, and this is just from my experience working in them days working in my dad's shop. I was actually talking to someone about this, you know, what I learned from that in dealing with people and stuff not being even heard as you think you've said it. So, you know, I've seen somebody kill, just wipe out a collection of fish because they got the scales set on ounces and not grams with PP. I mean, can you imagine? There's just layers to it. So we've got to be very, very, very careful. But I've really not held back and opening the lid up, because I do think we've all said what I've done here with that this year and how it's managed things, and things have been compared with previous years, is phenomenal. It really is. And obviously the cost of the stuff, it's next to nothing. These fluke treatments are beyond fucking ridiculous these days. I don't care about saying it. It's fucking ludicrous. So it's just leaving people having to find way, or even not dealing with the problem. That's where it's worse, because you're looking at this stuff and going, holy shit. You know, and if it's a case where you're making tough decisions, you're trying to hang in, stay in the hobby, but you know already, you know, because of financial pressures, it's making it difficult. And it comes to that, it's like absolute madness. So yeah, time for that one. And then I am feeling the love for trying to get stuck into a little bit more stuff outside of koi selection. You have to forgive me, because obviously the journal videos cover quite a bit, but fish selection is the bit has always been my obsession. Right from the very get-go, you know, learning, the obsession I had for learning how to pick small toci and understanding how they developed was from the very, very first instance of me getting into this. It was nuts. So it tends to be where I go a lot, because everything around me is all about that. And I think it's really, really important to really get a grasp on that side of the hobby as well. Just all of it, actually. I mean, your depth of understanding helps you with all of it, but ultimately it's koi keeping. It's all right knowing a load about a filter or all the rest of it. It's fucking koi keeping. I think this is the stuff you need to dive deep on. So, and I will just naturally swing towards it. And again, I don't think there's a lot of information out there for it in general as well. And it's hard to obtain, because a lot of it does just come from first-hand experience. And even, you know, conveying it into words at time isn't the easiest. So, but yeah, I think it's time to hit slightly more bit on the koi keeping side for sure. So let's see where that bit goes. And to be honest, probably doing it in a format like this, where it's easy for me to just sit down, blast it out, and away we go. So let's wait and see. Right, let's get up to the top and have a look at what we've got. Hi, Ricky. We're seeing a lot of fish dying, although the water parameters are okay and no parasites. Is this due to the hot weather? All the reasons could well be. Oxygen, I think, is probably not in the conversation enough right now. Bigger, older fish can really struggle with this this time of year. But yeah, my goodness. If you see some of the stuff, and obviously during different parts of the day as well, we've got to remember when photosynthesis, because there's so much, generally so much algae coating in that environment. When photosynthesis stops during the day, and I've seen the change of these on oxygen meters, when I've seen the change in fish behavior, tested it and gone, shit, that's mental. Obviously, then all that plantation becomes an extra consumer of oxygen as well, putting bigger burden on the ponds. And I don't think everybody is used to hitting at either them 25s, them optimal temperatures, and it's a very different game. If you're feeding heavy, a lot heavier all of a sudden, you know, all these things, a lot of oxygen is required for digestion, and you can quickly overdo it with the food. I have, hold my hands up, done that several times this year. Actually, I'm not going to completely hold my hands up. Did you hear that? The fuck was that running over the roof? Wow, I don't know if microphone picked that up. Oh, dear me. Yeah, so there was actually a period where we couldn't get any small pellet food. We had to change to medium. And then all of a sudden, I didn't adjust manual feeding, overdone it a little bit. They've consumed too much of that medium pellet all at once. bang, next day you've got dead fish. It can happen as easy as that. So I would say if it's not literally because of the heat and the oxygen, it's more possibly the changes in behaviors and things, people doing things too quickly that potentially caused the issue. Brian, hi Ricky. On an indoor pond with dimensions of 15 by 6 by 40 inches tall, which is what, 3.5 feet, do you think a 3-inch bottom drain is sufficient? Will be a gravity-fed filter? Brian, no, I don't think for one moment. You could do it, but trust me, the flows that you're going to pull through that are going to be absolutely shite. So get yourself a 4-inch in there, pal. Don't. At that kind of size, in fact, let's have a quick look at that. So I think it'll be a mile out, 15 by 6, but I'll call it 3.5. So it's about 2,000 gallons. I just think you're going to be too risky, mate. And certainly if you're setting that drain in right now, I don't know if there's any reason why it's got to be 3-inch, in particular because you're struggling. But I'd recommend 4 because I think over time you're just going to get frustrated when you can't get the pull through the drain that you want. Right, let's have a whiz through. Change settings. I know I've got a fancy round bubble on this one at the minute because I hadn't tuned all that in. Jesus Christ. No, like I say, Joe, they are actually really old ones. They're for some of the very first prizes I won for entering fish in Japan back when, with my dad actually, I'd have been 14, 15, something like that, I think. Yes, Kev's got it. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like. I can only see eight likes on here. God, shocking. Absolutely shocking. Yes, Mickey, 100%, pal. Here we are on naming, look. Oh, God. What a dilemma. Never. It's easier picking fish than name. Have you fixed your leaking pond? Yeah, which one, Kev? I think, mate, honestly, I seriously don't know. I think we've got 2 at the minute. There possibly might be 3 on that list, but that job ain't getting looked at right now until there's more permanent hands here, let me tell you. Just keep topping it up. Nice. Terry's new fish are settled in well. He's saying Miss Toyota is the one, look. Ooh, anyway. Right, let's have a look. What's the biggest Ginrin Mujimono fish you've seen firsthand? Good question. I think 1 meter 10, if I remember right. And I'm just trying to think where that was. Oh, I seem to think it was at Marido, but I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, meter stuff's pretty common around a Marido, Marseille, someone like that, to be honest. All them big guys have all got it. So I seem to think that was it. I've had the Nietzsche's conversation with Shigeru when he was talking about it, but not seen it there. But then again, there's a big difference in what I've seen. I've seen kind of meter fish at Dainichi, but with the volume that they get, they look like 1 meter 10 versus the kind of meter stuff I've seen at other places where you'd be convinced, like I say, there was no difference between them. Gotta roll with it. Anyway, let's see. Oh, here we go. It's against Koi law. I felt like it might be something like that. No, non-sold. I've resisted any pressure on that. My God, I need to see what's going on. Yeah, still a lot of. It's just that nagging back of your head, knowing shit can go wrong quite easily. There we go. You might be right, Ian. You might be right. I don't know why I've allowed myself to be swayed. Right, what's Mickey saying? Oh, God almighty. Ricky, you're allowed 6 koi, 1 type of variety from 6 breeders. What do you go for? Oh, that's just not nice, that, Mickey. I've got no idea. What do I go for? What do I go for? What do I go for? You see, I just struggle with this. It's just not where I am. You've probably gathered. I like to be getting stuck. I like the diversity of it all, you know, and changing and mixing it up. I've got to say instantly, for me, it's probably gone between Showa and Sankey. Yeah. That might be hard to make a list of 6 of either of those as well. Let's just go with, for the sake of this, let's go with Showa. I think that's, given what we've just been talking about as well. Obviously, it's the first one. There must be something there with Showa because it's the very first one that I'm bred. So breeder wise, so we would go yes, Dainichi Toyota. I'm going to make a list of this as well. Dainichi Toyota, Dainichi Niigata. Now, I do split them as 2 breeders because there are distinct differences in their fish. Massive similarities, but also very distinct differences. So definitely would separate those 2 out as well. NND, I'm going to put there because I've always admired the Showa. What they've got going at the minute with it, kind of like this next gen, I think is pretty cool, and they're pretty unique looking in that respect as well. And now I'm going to absolutely miss something in amongst all this as well. Absolutely sure of it. What sprung to mind then is just because recently I've been making a bit of resurgence. I tell you what, Marido knows how to make a Showa. He just doesn't make very many of them. He really doesn't. But trust me, absolute bangers coming out of there. So I'm going to put Marido on. I would definitely say. Then we get, I love this. Mine's gone completely blank on me. And I literally, as I'm doing this now, you see, I'm even forgetting down south. I'm literally touring through the roots of the mountains in back of my head, trying to think of different places. I mean, it's tough because you say narrow it down. I mean, it's for different reasons. If I was looking at parent fish, for sure, you'd just be in that kind of top tier bracket. Oh, Issa, there you go. You see straight away. You can't deny an Issa Showa, and just so many people go there for the reasons, because it's the standard is just so high, so consistently high as well. So what's that up to? We're up to 5 there. It leaves 1 more. So put Marido on there. I'm going to say there's another one, Nogami, because obviously I spent a lot of time on that. And Nogami Showa, he's on the march with it. They've been focusing a lot of energy. Again, not a lot of them, but real quality. Big things like real depth, Subo Sumi, proper stuff. So off the top of my head, that would be it. But I could, with a bit of time, tell you loads of reasons why there'd be loads of other places. But that's what we've come to for the first 6. And Mickey, I'm not thanking you for that question. When did they get on the sake? That probably won't be till the back home, Luke, to be honest, unless I manage to get a pond of my own sorted out there somewhere for holding them indoors over winter and into next year. Yes, 10K. So life's so good, mate. Life's good. Probably, pal. Probably. It's just still quite surreal. Just to be doing it, you think of the level of the fish as well. You know, this is proper no corners cut. You know, she is a special fish that these are coming from. That so many, if you look at it from like a first generation, and I've seen it, I actually see some first, you know, I know quite a lot of the guys who are first gens, and it's hard for them. You know, some of them, everybody, there's just this perception that koi breeders, especially in Japan, they start breeding koi and they are minted. And I've seen it where there's guys now still who have to take jobs in winter in order to keep everything ticking over. Seriously. So you imagine somebody trying to start out and buy the fish that I'm using right now, from walking into Dainichi and buying an 80 centimeter Yonsai Showa of that level of quality, and the breeder knowing that they're probably buying it for parent fish as well. It's such a huge considerable investment. They're so far away from being able to play with something like that. Because if you look at the other scenario, a lot of it, they're inherited and passed down. If you look in the case, even just right now, because it's been mentioned, Nogami, when he eventually passes that down to Chika, not only has he passed down all that generational knowledge, which is the real secret sauce, but there's a whole pool of parent fish, the ability to then pick new parent fish and continue that bloodline. So that's the bit here that it's luckily I've done it intentionally, played this longer term game in buying these pieces when I did, investing heavily in the likes of those Tosai and some Nisai as I have done, and got to that point. But she was a special one in all that, just given that as I see it, the breeder rejected that fish. When you look at all this scenario and how it works, it was one of his rejects, because at that point he chose to put that fish up for sale rather than keeping it as tatigoi, putting it in the mud pond and growing it as Nisai. And that was it. And it got to obviously a price point where I could keep it in Japan, and I asked him to, and that's what happened. And then boom, you get these growth seasons. And when he was packing the fish, he even said, he says, you know, I didn't quite see that coming with that one. So, and that kind of answers that thing, you know. Does he see it as he got it wrong? Probably not, because he looks at everything else around him as well, and what's in it. You know, he's still paid handsomely as a Tosai. Yes, you would say the bit he misses out on financially is the chunk of money he could have sold it for, but then a lot has to fall into place for all that kind of stuff to happen as well. But yeah, coming back to it, you know, that's to be able to start this and have that level of parent fish. Even, you know, the guys at NND, there was mass excitement, even amongst all the staff and everything, when this fish turned up. And I kind of missed it a little bit. I'm like, well, what's going on? It's a big special fish from Dainichi, and it's coming here. You know, and that's even how the likes of Dainichi is measured amongst breeder community, even at that level of NND as well. Because if you look at that scenario, you know, yeah, they've invested, they've paid out in fish. They actually discussed, and I get the process. I'm not going to share it in the way they've developed and got hold of a lot of parent fish. But this is obviously why when DK Shiro was created and Donald Kerr allowed them the use of that 90-odd centimeter beast that he had. There's not many breeders just going out and dropping that money, boom, and we're talking millions of yen on fish like those to bring back and start using. So yeah, nice to start there. Like I say, look, with the other fish I've got lined up, there's a lot of pedigree there, and it's exciting. However, I have got to go male fish shopping. That's I cannot believe me and male fish. If I had it here, I'm absolutely sorted. Let me tell you. But over there, absolutely dry. Collections dried up. Got one. That's it. Shocking. Evening, Ricky. How long do I need to leave my pond after I use complete pond detox before I can use PP? Vicky, sorry, I've got absolutely no clue. Not use the stuff. No intention of, know nothing about it, don't even know what's in it. So I'm very sorry, but I can't help you with that. Maybe someone in the comments can, or if you're in our Telegram group, link in the description, maybe worth asking in there for some of the guys. They're very, very helpful. The community is very helpful on sharing and stuff like that. So yeah, apologies, I can't help. Sam, see, this could not be live on Facebook for a while. So yeah, we now have a direct-to-consumer brand, Koi Online. You can check it out online. You can join the WhatsApp group. There's a link in the description below. The farm is not open to the public. It never will be either. So, but the way we do it is you get me here. We're on WhatsApp all the time, as the group members will tell you. Someone actually questioning whether I sleep last night, and yes, sleep like a baby. It's probably why I have so much energy for all that, but it's just good fun, isn't it? So yeah, that's where we're at with that one, Sam. Which Akari grow food best? Saki Akari growth. There we go. Quite a simple one to answer. Rob, evening, Ricky. Evening all. Ricky, what ratio of colour food do you feed to obtain such intense beni and soon without affecting the shiroji on your koi? Well, the fact is, Rob, it does affect the shiroji, not as heavily as it would if I was feeding a really shy colour food. But I feed up to 50% generally is the most. There's a couple of ponds recently with kind of doits and a bit more metallic, unusual fish. I switched over to full colour food because I felt like there was in need of it. And actually, just a bit of a different route in that they were on growth, and then I've switched it over and they're on solid growth because at that point I needed to focus on getting some meat on the bones, and then switched it out to colour now, and I'll eventually bring it back in as a mix. But you've got to. This is something I think it's a mindset. My mindset is we're going through seasons right now. Right now we're growth mode, so I want to get mass on the fish. I want to push them. What I don't give a shit about shiroji, where they're at right now. I want to make the most of the growing season, the growing season that's really in sync with their bodies as well. So, and in order to do that, you're going to have to make compromises because you can't do this and keep them looking exceptionally well, kind of show level, and especially shiroji show level all the time. And in a lot of things, you sort of need this give and take, because keeping it all like that all the time, it's not, you won't get the best and the most out of them. So summers for that, then you move in, and this is where it gets a bit tricky, because in my instance, I can still see them, in the greenhouses, but in essence, winter is the best time for the viewing period of the fish, coming off the growth into a phase where you are then conditioning, making them look the best, enjoying them. It's at that point you can just polish, and coming off of something like sake colour, within a few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, you can clear the shiroji up quite easily with a bit of tinkering as well. Generally taking them off the grow food as well. The amount of grow food I feed will slightly tint shiroji as well. So we just don't worry about all that. That's what, in my opinion, the winter season is then for. And what I don't want to do in summer as well is obviously stretch the beni too much, because when they're growing rapidly like that, you can pull it. So I like to get the colour food in there just to keep that pigment developing at the same pace as what they're growing. Because what you don't want with beni should be a year of layering it up, layering it up, layering it up. You don't want to stretch it, then use the winter, which is very hard to because of the lack of light, recover it, but only get it back to kind of base level going into the next season. You want to be base plus a new level going into the next one and keep building it up, so you actually get the fish finished at some point, which should be the aim. So ratios generally from 25 to 50%, but you will affect shiroji. If you use poor quality colour foods, you'll really tank shiroji, and it can be a lot harder to pull it back. But in the case of sake, really, really easy, and it's not, for how intense of a colour enhancer it is, how it tints the shiroji is actually minimal. Thank you very much. And no, the naming of the merging of the two names does not do it for me, guys. That one there, I will say. Right, I'm conscious time's ticking, so I am going to have a quick fly through. How come there isn't an albino koi when you get an albino sturgeon and numerous albino? Paul, I've got absolutely no idea, pal. I'm trying to think what that would look like. I think actually the closest bit you'll get to that, I suppose, is the stuff with akame will start tying back there, like the karashis, the paler karashis and stuff like that tend to be most common, and you're treading a line there. But yeah, I've got no idea, pal. I can't see him taking off either if that was a thing. Yes, absolutely, Matt. Activated carbon is phenomenal. Just look at it from aquariums, you know, even right there, that tank, as I was maturing it up, I didn't run any carbon in it, and you saw what it did to the water. Put a massive bag in one of the trays of the external filter, and bosh, I mean, that water is just phenomenal right now. So this is what I mean. It's so crucial in aquariums for keeping that. You think it's just scaling it up with ponds. It's all it is. But it's quite phenomenal stuff. Why can't you run a pond with a constant 0.3 salt? What would be the consequences? Josh, to be honest, you're probably fine. My ponds have forever got 0.3% salt in. I couldn't tell you what the consequences would be, mate, because it really is just a trace background level. And I would pretty much say that most of the breeders are probably close to running around that in most of them, some even stronger. So, yeah, someone will argue with it, someone who's got some scientific fact, but from a practical applied perspective, I don't see any issues with it. You would question, you know, why do you want to, and are you doing it for a reason? Where I think one bit as well is you can have a little bit more of an impact on the fish when it's not there constantly, you know. So, you know, going from 0 to 0.3 is going to help, rather than being in that 0.3 all the time, where to get the impact from it, you might need to kind of pull up a bit higher from there. But yes, for someone who's got more of the sciencey stuff, mate, all I can tell you is it's you know, from a trade side and breeder side, it's just so heavily relied on because of the way we have to do stuff. Yes, Mark, the easiest thing, mate, get into the Koi Online WhatsApp group, link in the description, because there you'll be able to get all the information for getting onto the list for the competition. Thank you very much, Ian. Ricky, if you had one breeder for a Tancho Showa, what's your one choice? Ooh. Tell you what's come right to mind then. You could obviously say your Dainichis, but I think the Maraju line that the fish, the beast that won the All Japan, won a major prize there, was a huge, over 90 centimeters. I think you get close to a meter before it died, which is now the base of the new Dainichi Toyota line, Pandora as well. Then genetics, I think that's really quite special. And I saw some of the offspring that were Tancho Showa at Maraju and where they were. So I think that, because it's really something they've tried to work on and develop, as opposed to just being a straight outright Showa reject, so to speak. Also, I have a 3,000-gallon pond with 20 fish from 40 to 80 centimeters. I have a drum, 100 liters moving bed plus 3-tier back shower. How much food could I push through my feeder every day? Vicky, you've got a little bit of trial and error there. 100 liters of K1. I don't know for which media it is actually you've got. I don't know the quotas on the figures. My way of doing it, obviously, a lot of it is me just eyeballing on what I'm seeing, but I would say the best thing in that case, because you're going to find it hard to get any quota on your media as well. And the big thing on your backy shower media, the big thing is as well, this is about the way in which you do it as well. Because if I was to say to you, oh yeah, great, you can feed 0.5 kilo a day, you're doing 100 grams at the minute, and you go and for the next 3 days feed them 0.5 kilo a day, you're going to tank that water beyond all belief. So it's these incremental gains of build up. And the method I use is following that timed window, trying to get them to a 5-minute per feed. And obviously, depending on water temperature, what that filter can do at 20 degrees versus 25 degrees are going to be two very different things. And if you're unheated and heated, again, very different because of the stability you're going to have at those temperatures. Because if you're unheated as we are, I mean, we've gone from having ponds that I had ambiently at 25 and 26 degrees outside, them same ponds being 20 degrees today, the performance in filter drop off will be mad. So unfortunately, I can't give you any exact ones. It's something you go build it up. If you've got the constant temperatures, and obviously monitor, see what your pond's doing. If you've not got that same level of experience, I don't expect many people to have, just to be able to eyeball it. Follow your test kits, but just remember you're going to get spikes as well as you're building it up, and don't let them put you off. You've got to push through them a little bit to some degree. I mean, when you see that first spike, don't go increasing your food amount, but just keep it. And hopefully, if you're warm enough as well, which is the point, it should start coming back down within 3 to 4 days and kind of stabling out. You'll know when you've kind of started hitting your peak, because there'll probably be a constant nitrite there. But just remember as well, expectations, absolute zero nitrite in a pond that's being fed heavily, I don't believe is realistic. And there is a tolerance with fish. We roughly, say up to about 0.3 is where you want to be at the most if it is lingering around quite consistently. And that's one of them things as well, as I said about the motion, summer might be the case, but as you ease everything back in winter, quite easily, you get your watering top spec parameters absolutely bang on. So it's not a constant 12-month exposure to something like that. Pleasure, mate. I presume there's a message waiting for me. I'll have a look when I'm done, pal. Is there a number of core you can keep in your question mark? Or just pond, I presume that is, Andy. Oh, NND Morley, that's it. To me, I've always said this stocking level is all to do with feeding and not necessarily fish bodies and fish weight. It's how much food the filter can handle. So, and that's where I'm always going to stick on that one, because I've seen what I can do with a pond that I'm barely feeding, stock perspective, and what happens the minute you actually start trying to push the food and how it all just falls apart. And can I overfeed if they are clearing the food in 15 minutes? 1 pound, you've got me there. I'm not converting that one. 7 times daily filtration keeps up. Yes, would be my answer. And you just got to, again, monitor, see what the fish are telling you. What are the parameters? I'm going to have to tell people, it's nice for you to keep your eye on what's happening there. But more than anything, what are the fish telling you? You can see it with little toci, or the belly's really blowing up. Little toci, when you feed them heavy in the day, you expect them to carry a bit of a gut, but they can very quickly overdo it. So, but at 15 minutes, if it's warm enough as well, I would say, if it's warm enough, at 15 minutes with hungry feeding toci, you generally be able to keep going. But getting pellet size right is also really crucial. Too big a pellet, as I've seen, you can literally lead to overconsumption of food that they can't digest properly very, very quickly. Small pellet, I like to generally keep them on up to around 20 to 25 cm. And it is a bit of a hack. Sometimes I even do it bigger, up to 30 cm or more, because all it is doing is creating a bigger area for digestion and generally getting a higher digestive efficiency from using that small pellet versus a medium. And when I say small, I'm talking Saki Akari small, which I believe is 2 to 2.5 mil, medium 5 to 5.5 mil versus the 3 and 6 mil everyone always uses. Doesn't sound like a lot of difference, but trust me, when you see them two pellets side by side, it is massive difference. Could you do a video on the bicarb dosing ponds and the pumps and setups you use? I can't. I could say, Dave, to be honest with you, I even caught myself doing that. And yes, I could. It'll probably float around in here, and at some point we might do it. I mean, bicarb dosing, I presume if we're just on about for general buffering, because if it's anything beyond that, and if we're actually talking here about bicarb dosing and dosing pumps and setups, I think you must know, Dave, this isn't the channel to watch, pal, for that one, because that shit don't keep it simple mantra. But dosing, I mean, we're just KH, we're on it constantly, and it's always better with dosing bicarb to do it gradually, because it changes the parameters very rapidly and just not letting it get too low and keep topping it up. That's probably the best advice I can give you on that one. Full video, I'll bear it in mind, but like I say, it takes there's a whole list and stuff gets done as and when we can. Keith, how you doing, pal? Oh, that's Andy asking if you can come to the event if you're not buying. It's only 95 quid, Andy. I know it's not an NND fish, but come on, it's fair. Community event, pal, it'd be awesome. No, I thought I'd answered that then. Hi, Ricky. I have a 3,000 gallon pond with Nexus 220 with 150 litres K1, feeding only 100 grams of sake, balanced, but still getting a nitrite spike, also running through Big Blue. Yeah, they're not easy ones for me to answer these, Chris, because it's getting into a lot of breakdown. I don't think I'm going to have time for it tonight, but nitrite spikes, I just spoke about the tolerances you expect, what temperature you're at. Is it a new pond? If it's a new pond, then they always require more fucking madness on roof again. Big pond always requires new pond, sorry, will need time. There's always going to be nitrite lingering around in that first 6 to 12 months. If there's not, I don't think you're stressing the system enough. But if you've got decent water temperature, just ride it out. But obviously, don't overdo it. That's probably just the broad advice I can give you there with that one. See where we're at. I'm just filtering for questions now, guys, so I can get as many done as possible before I bugger off. Oh, here we go. I feel like I should get some boxing gloves. Ozone air purifier. In fact, I don't even know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm presuming it's obviously something ozone related. I just got no time for all that shit. If you're at the point, in my opinion, where you're needing ozone, and I'll tell you what I saw the other day, because ozone, I mean, what we're doing here really, killing bacteria, you can do that naturally. We'll balance it. This is just blitzing it. But also, obviously, you create that absolute, you do get that blue glow in the water from killing all the organics out. That does have some appeal. But the appeal there is lost when all of a sudden you look at I saw a video someone posted. It's kind of showing off water clarity. And yeah, it was insane water clarity. All I could see was this absolute intense UV from the sun penetrating and the fish having no shade, nowhere to get away from. Now, that's not going to kill your fish. What that is going to do is damage that pigmentation, let me tell you. It really is. So there's just nothing at all that has any appeal for me from that system. And it's something there with ozone in general. You start getting stuff wrong, you've got fucking major problems on your hands. And I'm just not interested. So again, Daniel, apologies, I can't add a lot of value to that. There's probably others that can, but it just doesn't fit within my philosophy of koi keeping. And you can do all that stuff without having to use ozone anyway. There we go. If your show breeding is successful, what's the next variety you would attempt? Anthony, that's just telling me. I can't go into super confidential information like that, pal. Let's just say I've got a few weapons, and me being me won't be anything simple. I mean, we start with Showa, only one of the hardest varieties, they say, to produce a credible bloodline on. So the bit I can reveal is it'll probably be something very fucking difficult, because that's clearly what I seem to enjoy. Oh, Ricky, who's the best breeder for the mythical snow Asagi? So, I mean, you can look here, Taniguchi, you'll get some. Yamaju, you'll get some. The bit I want to point out on this as consumer awareness is the likelihood, because as far as I'm aware right now, no one's actually focusing on this. Oya actually probably got the closest. I don't know what he's been doing with them since, or if he's continued it on, but he did get the best look. And I know he was actually focusing on breeding that characteristic. But a lot of them just come from the basic. Well, here's the story. One of those breeders I just mentioned, it's not Oya, so I'll let you break that down yourself. Had all of a sudden 1 year, because the breed Komonryu, the breed Asagi, all of a sudden they started having more Yuki Asagi and Deutsch Karasugoi with the orange bellies. Thought fantastic. So I'm asking him, like, what have you done differently, or to produce these? And he just kind of stopped for a minute. He went, well, typically in the Snow Asagi case, my dad used to throw them away. Okay, so basically it's the real Asagi with absolutely nothing showing in them. Okay. And so what about the Dutch Karasugoi? Well, we breed Komonryu. You can see what's coming here. Used to throw them away as well. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So from that, tells you what you need to know. There's the potential in most Yuki Asagi, unless it's something they're focusing on breeding that characteristic out, like I say, Oya was, that they will eventually turn normal Asagi. Especially, when you're hitting UK waters, it's even more likely. You can get them from Ikarashi Azumi as well. There's all kind, but there's a high risk that's going to happen. I had one from Golden Corn cruising around here that looked superb. It got to spring, and I thought I'm on it, and all of a sudden I saw the Amime net pattern of the Asagi breaking through the back, and now it's a full blown Asagi. So. Yeah, that's my bit of consumer awareness on those ones. I think they're still a little bit of a mythical creature, certainly for a long time. All good, Keith. It's getting a bit mental. That I'm now the proud owner of 4 Zebraplex, 4 super white, high Pancistrus. 2 frog leopards, 2 I can't remember what they were and then in that tank there I've got a Galaxius, Queen Arabesque, and Sunshine Plek. More to come. Absolutely, I'm not safe to be out in a tropical fish shop at the minute. Absolutely loving it though. It's really nice to enjoy that kind of hobby side of fish keeping a bit more, which is what it really is. And even though this is genuine, even though I can still order fish from any of the importers, do all that, get them, I've chose to go to shops, support those retailers, pay full retail prices, the whole lot. And the reason has been is because I've seen just how amazing and enjoyable that part of the process is. We went to Wigan Pier Aquatics on Saturday, me, my dad, and AJ. And it was class, 2-hour drive. I was excited for a few days before getting there, because them guys are mega into all the rare stuff from Brazil, and it was impressive. Very, very impressive place, but like I say, dangerous one to be in. But yeah, hats off to that one. But yeah, getting out of hand, Keith, it really is. Yes, they will, providing that there obviously is some at the end of it and enough of them. Let's wait and see. Like I say, I'm not counting on that one too much right now, but as it stands, we're looking good. What are the difference between Showa and Monroe bloodline? I think you're possibly a little bit mixed up there, buddy. Monroe is a Dainichi bloodline for Showa, or Dainichi parent fish for Showa. So that's what that one is. Dave, you'll have to send me a screenshot or something, pal. Everything we've got for sale was on the website, buddy. Anyway, don't know if it's been on there, sold or whatever, but if you send me a screenshot, I'll try and help. Crikey, I seem a long way from bottom, and I can't believe we've done an hour already. So let's try and we'll power through a little bit. Ricky, I'm working on replicating your pond set with a shower and fluidized bed, but I'm hesitant to invest in an RDF due to the cost and concerns about potential motor issues. Filter. Oh, that's it. Carried on like a Cetus. be a good alternative for mechanical filtration. Is the more effective option. Recommend. Nothing wrong with a sieve at all. Absolutely agree. You say that, and I'm not gonna, because I've not written this off. I say I have just spent good money on what I believe is, hope, and having seen it, the leading drum filter on the market before I do fully write them off. Just so you can see, I'm not stuck in my ways or thought processes with anything. I know those particular models in there, let me tell you, absolute fucking dog shite. And I would never, the way that they're sold and quoted, for one, I think needs to change. But on top of that as well, the quality is just fucking piss poor for longevity, given the sum of money that you pay out for them. Right now, as it stands, I have 3 out of 8 again. In fact, 2's out of operation, 1's in limp mode. I've got a sensor fucked. That's ripped that one off. Nowhere to go. Motor fucked, won't go around. And then I've had a screen come away on one again. So that's just fucking pummeling all shit through anyway. I've just got no energy for that. So I've kind of said it already before that obviously with it, you're not going to get that with a sieve. And you can go, 300 micron, you can get down to 150 micron if you ask for that. It can be done. I don't know if it can just be done on a single individual case or it has to be a bulk order, but 300 micron should be more than enough anyway. But yeah, it's stressful, and that's me then having to manage them ponds differently, fuck around with them at the time of year where I say it's all about these incremental gains. I'm having to stop, you get the drop off, I've got to build up again. I just don't want it, don't need it. But that being said, and I have said this, I think if you are going for drums, it's just not something you can cut corners on. Brand wise, cheaper and cheaper models coming out all the time. I just doubt the quality of a lot of it. The one I've got, and I'm not saying too much at the minute because I will at the end of it obviously document it all and see where we're at, but just having seen it as it's arrived, I'm like, wow, fucking night and day difference. So let's wait and see. But to answer your question, Tom, yeah, no harm with a sieve whatsoever. Don't forget, that the fluid bed, the biological filter, plays a huge part in mechanical filtration. That filter has the capacity to consume particles to 1 micron. There's no mechanical filter that you buy, mechanical filtration device that I know of that can filter down to that. Plays a huge part in it all. And, plus side is it's food. It works. Ricky, I seem to remember you saying that parasites don't like a certain water temperature. Is that correct? Yeah, generally, it's not a what temp you want to be at for too long though. You kind of hit 28 and above, and boof, it's very rare to find anything present at that point. Let me tell you. Although not impossible, I have had that with a pond in the greenhouse this week, and it was fucking flukes and skin flukes, gill flukes as well, but. I'm not sure if they were kind of there on the run up to it, but who knows? But yeah, a lot of the other ones, the single cell stuff, Costia, white spot, all the rest of it really does not like that temperature band at all. There you go, Kev, pointing it out. You can get a simple Venturi, 100%, mate. Actually been looking at that myself. I reckon my koi suddenly has red mark on a body. It is possibly scratching against the pond wall. What should I do about it? You should get a mucus biopsy done and rule out parasites first of all. God, we're getting a few of these ones tonight, aren't we? No, I don't have a view. Are we talking about if we're talking about the product, then I spoke about that earlier. And like for a while, food questions were being banned. I think we're close to having a ban on that one as well soon. Dear. Right, evening, Ricky. You mentioned in your last video you've kept the best from your last N&D DK shearers. I think I see a white one. Mine from the event has minimal sumi. What can influence development? A big part of it is UV. I'm seeing more and more temperature, UV as well. Time is a real big factor in all this as well. Water hardness, I don't buy that as much as to be honest with you, the UV and the thing. But there are trace elements in the water that can, and it might be that in harder water you might get more particular trace elements. It's highly likely that could influence it. But for me, it's night and day seeing what actual UV levels and intensity does to sumi overall, and time. Everyone always seems to forget time. And it's still not 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. It's young. It's really young. I have to remember this with my parent fish when I look at her, because, you know, at 4 years old, you're looking at an 80 centimeter beast in the bowl. And it's like, well, I wouldn't expect, because for the type of sumi she has, being from Dainichi, I'd expect that to reach its peak at around 6 to 7 years old. So at 4, you're looking at a big fish, probably thinking, fuck, that's 6 years old, still got a long way to go. No, she's only 4. Time is a massive one with all this. At Tosai, koi with length but slender, or a short but wider koi, always length and slender. And look at the structural elements: head, backbone, peduncle, and a nice taper, no bulges, no nipping in. That's exactly where you want to be. I am going to have to wrap it up, ladies and gents. As much as I am actually loving this, yeah, at some point I need to go and just have a quick check around fish houses and get myself off home. So, Mickey Mail Showa. Problem is, mate, I think with yours in particular, from what I'm told, those absolute big brutes like that one aren't a lot of use for breeding. Unfortunately, because if I thought for 1 minute it was, buddy, I'd have been knocking on the door offering you a swap, let me tell you. Crikey, guys, you've been busy tonight, haven't you? Yeah, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I just haven't got time to get through all that. But thank you. There we go. So, like I say, stay tuned. I'm going to be around tomorrow anyway. But with that particular show, I've even got a little banner pointing it out that it's not, questions are only related to the koi and breeders that are around that topic. So. It sounds a bit, mate. I don't think that's an Ewok. I get absolutely mullered when I go out there. Yeah, stay tuned for that one. And other than that, you're going to have a load of Japan content coming. I'll hopefully, again, keep that rolling while I'm there, so you can kind of see it all playing out and what's happening. I won't be doing question time while I'm in Japan, but you'll have plenty of other video content coming out as well. So other than that, enjoy the rest of your evening, ladies and gents. And that's, I'm going to have a quick walk round. Never tends to be the case, does it? But fingers crossed it will be, and get me set off. And I will, I'll see hopefully some of you tomorrow on the other live. And if not, I'll catch you on here in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you very much for tuning in.